Our first story is focusing on June 4. Former President Flying Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings has castigated the elsewhere Mahama-led administration, labeling it as a government of sickening greed. The former president also dismissed the view offered by his party's 2016 presidential candidate John Mahama for the party's defeats in the past election. A passionate and roaring former president charged that the disgraceful failure of 2016 was because the leadership of the NDC abandoned the values of June 4. Former President Rawlings was speaking at the 38th commemorative anniversary of the June 4 movement in Wa, from where Rafik Salam reports.
Former President Jerry John Rawlings was joined by former functionaries of the actual NDC administration, including former Defense Minister Dr. Benjamin Kumbor, Second Deputy Speaker of Parliament Alban Summana Kinsport Babin, Minority Leader in Parliament Harun Idrisu, and former Minister of Trade and Industry Dr. Spio Gabra. Former Ambassador to Mali Mahmoud Khalid was the first person to lay the wreath on behalf of the people of Ghana. President of the Upper West Queen Mothers Association, Pogna Agnes Azar I, also laid one on behalf of traditional rulers in the country. In all, 6 wreaths were laid. Former President Jerry John Rawlings did not light the perpetual flame himself, but ceded that responsibility to former Minister of Health Joseph Willechure and Pogna Agnes Azar I. Former National Chairman of the NDC, Dr. Kobna Ajay, climaxed the first part of the program by reminding Ghanaians of the importance of the June 4th uprising.
If you are moving anywhere, try to find out who built this, who built that road, who put this up here, who did this. And they will tell you it is either the PNDC or the NDC. Now, we are here. We have allowed ourselves to be deceived. We have been so monetized in our minds that we vote where we can get some money to eat for today and suffer for the rest of the 4 years.
Minority Leader in Parliament Haruna Idrisu noted that the best thing that the country can do to utilize former President Jerry Rawlings is to imbibe the values of probity, accountability, and justice as timeless and lifelong values. The minority leader then took a swipe at the governing MPP to stop what he called political discrimination at public officers in the country.
Today, as I speak, if you go to the civil or local government service or any government entity, you hear that these were NDC men, these are MPP men. Let this group go home. That is political discrimination. We demand an end to it.
Former President Jerry John Rawlings told the crowd that contrary to their expectation, he was going to defer his usual boom speech to another day. He, however, gave reasons why the NDC lost the 2016 general election.
Not too long ago, I thought we had the jockeys claiming the horses were responsible for this disgraceful failure, while one of the horses was bold enough to lay the failure of the doorstep also at the step of the jockeys. For me, we lost our masses because we betrayed the values of June 4th. However, if this horse jockey business cannot be resolved comprehensively, allowing integrity most of all to prevail, then let both of them step aside and allow for fresh leaders with solid integrity to provide the needed leadership.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam. Wow.
Meanwhile, the former president charged Ghanaians to see the medal of the late military captain Maxwell Adam Mahama as a wake-up call on state institutions to live up to their duties and responsibilities in the fight against lawlessness in the country.
Former President Jerry John Rawlings was met on arrival at Bamahu, located at the outskirts of the Wa municipality. he drove through some principal streets in the Wa municipality before paying a courtesy call on the overlord of the Wala Kingdom, now Hussein Sedi Pilipo IV, and some sectional heads of the Wa municipality. Paramount Chief of the Gulu traditional area, Na Sedi Brema, spoke on a wide range of issues. Notable among them is the killing of Captain Maxwell Adam Mahama, which he described as horrendous. He appealed to former President John Rawlings and his colleague former presidents to wade into the issue to bring the perpetrators of the heinous crime to justice.
In this beautiful country of ours, Your Excellency, somebody, a very lawful person whose mother hails from this region, so a few days back, faced his untimely death. Your Excellency, we are crying to you and a set of former presidents of this country to make sure that the perpetrators of this horrendous act are brought to book. If not, they say we should be citizens. Are we citizens? If this situation continues to be like this, you can't feel free to move about, always fear of these things.
Responding to the plea of the chiefs and people, former President John Rawlings noted that he was confident that the government would do what is necessary to bring justice to the deceased Army captain.
The loss of that captain has sent a shock wave throughout the country. And I sincerely hope that it would serve as a wake-up call to all of us, to government, the law enforcement agencies, the courts, to wake up to our duties and our responsibilities in order to prevent this sort of thing from happening in the future. This is a very uncivilized behavior. And the sooner some ways found to contain this irresponsibility, this cruelty, the better it'll be for all of us.
He praised the military for displaying high sense of discipline and self-restraint in this trying moment.
To the unit for putting up with this kind of atrocity, that they did not react in a manner that's normally associated with them whenever things of this nature happen. I thank them for exercising so much restraint. I believe that the government will play its role.
Mr. Rawlings, before he left the one-house palace, was ensconced as a Bagala Piena. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam. Wow.
And the police in the Western region, they've arrested one more person in connection with the murder of the late Captain Maxwell Mahama, who was lynched by some residents of Dintroboase last Monday. The police say the suspect turned himself in at the Bogoso police station and identified himself in the video, which captures a gruesome murder, has been speculated on social media as one of the attackers who struck the late captain with a wooden club. This brings to 24 the number so far arrested made in connection with the gruesome murder of the young military officer in the town in Central Region. Here is Chief Inspector Foster Beko with the Bogoso police station confirming the arrest to JoyNews.
This morning we are here when the guy came and reported himself that he is among those who lynched the Capt. So immediately reported that detained him. He said he's a carpenter and he played the rule. When there's a video all over the way in Ghana. When he played, he identified himself. He's holding a stick to his mouth. He played the rule. Who killed that captain?
Okay, and so what happens to him now since he has turned himself in?
Now he's in my custody, but I'm making efforts to transfer him to people tomorrow.
Properties running into millions of Ghana cedis went up in flames as a warehouse at Pram belonging to Kingdom Books and Stationery Services was razed down by fire. The fire, which started in one of the partitioning of the huge warehouse, quickly spread to other compartments. It is immediately unclear what started the fire, but firemen spent more than 8 hours trying to douse the flames. Deputy Tema Fire Regional Commander, Divisional Officer Grade 1 Osafo Efum told JoyNews the firemen at the scene did not have enough water to fight the fire. JoyNews' Maxwell Ababa was there and he has come through with this report.
Thick smoke from the warehouse of Kingdom Books and Stationery Services could be seen meters away. On the compound, firemen were busy fighting the raging inferno. A woman is already on the floor wailing as properties running into millions of Ghana cedis go up in flames.
Smoke billowing in the background right down here on the premises of the Kingdom Books warehouse. We understand that the fire started sometime around 4 a.m. Fire officers are here on the ground trying very hard to fight the fire. We hear a lot of fire tenders have been here trying to quench the raging inferno, but it looks like they are not making any progress. Some workers here currently are moving in to pack some of the items inside the warehouse to a different location because they fear that the fire would spread to other parts of the building.
Pram Divisional Police Commander Chief Superintendent Doji Hloji, who was on the ground, said his men were there to ward off the possibility of people taking advantage to steal properties belonging to the company.
The information got to us quickly as police officers. We mobilized men to protect the facility here so that there would not be any theft. We communicated with our regional police command, mobilized more men to assist us. So as you can see, there are police officers, uniform and detectives among the people here. So we allow in all these people, the civilians, to assist to retrieve some of the items. But as I indicated, we ensure that no theft, nobody takes any item out of this place. Very, very extensive. In fact, I can't estimate it's very extensive damage. We went in here, this warehouse, and this one is almost rained down by the fire. So the damage is very extensive.
Currently here at the Kingdom Books warehouse, firefighters here are trying very hard to quench the raging inferno. These workers are not taking chances at all. They are moving all the materials in here in this warehouse to another part of the building because they fear that the fire that has gutted portion of the warehouse will spread very fast to this side also.
The fire gutted 4 out of the 10 compartmentalized units of the warehouse completely, destroying some sections of it. Deputy Tema Fire Regional Commander Osafo Efum says they did not have enough water to fight the fire.
Challenge, as usual, has been the continuous water supply for effective firefighting. We fight up to a point and the water gets exhausted. Unfortunately, the company itself has a fire hydrant, but their pump failed. And just now that the pump has been restored, the pressure is so low that it is not even effective for firefighting purposes. Others can get water to use, but for firefighting purposes, we need higher pressure, and it is not serving any purpose for us as at now.
So which other places did you have to go and get water and you didn't find any?
We have been commuting from here to Bost, bulk oil and storage transport. That's where we've been picking water. And if the appliances are too many, the others trek as far as to the industrial area to our station.
Currently here in a section of the warehouse, fire officers right now are using an earth-moving machine to break down this part of the warehouse. That would give them access to be able to fight the raging inferno head on. They seem to be having a difficult task doing this, but they are determined to bring the fire under control and also to prevent it from getting other sections of the structure.
A casual worker at the warehouse, Musa Suraj, has been speaking about some of the properties in the affected warehouse.
And the way the fire is going, the fire service has tried their best, but still the fire is ongoing to destroy a lot of things.
What time did the fire start?
Around 3 to 4, I can't even tell you. We don't know the actual time the fire starts, but the fire starts early of the day.
What kind of items do you have here in this warehouse?
Master, they'll have a lot of things here. Let me tell you, we have books. We have books, papers, and carpets, this grass carpet, a lot of things, and machines. That is here, but a lot of things are destroyed. Property have been destroyed. A lot of property. We are even afraid that maybe lives can even go away. If anyone who will play mistake, something different will happen. Very serious. You can even have a look at it. Even the walls are breaking. Not small fire that is burning here, my friend.
Reporting for JoyNews, Maxwell Agbagba.
And before we go, members of parliament are pushing for the Minister of Agriculture, Dr. Akoto Ewusefriye, to be summoned before parliament to brief the House on what is being done to deal with a phenomenon of the invasion of fall armyworms across Ghana. More than 30,000 hectares of farmlands have since been destroyed by the pests since March. A situation stakeholders fear could derail government planting for food and jobs program. Member of Parliament Food and Agriculture Committee, Eric Osewusu, wants government to step up efforts to deal with the attacks subsequently.
If we allow the armyworms to take over our crops, obviously it's affecting our food security, as I've just said, and that is something that we should ensure that we keep an eye and then stop it.
As Parliament, is there anything you are doing to maybe, get responses on this from the level of the Agri Minister or the Agri Ministry General?
I think, yes, the Agri Committee will be meeting very soon and we'll talk about it. So I also believe that at some point the Minister would have to come in and give us a briefing on, the whole national situation as far as fighting the armyworm is concerned.
My final question would be, but are you impressed with how government has responded?
It is a very serious challenge for our crops or our farmers, I would say. And that is the reason why government should really be very proactive in fighting these things. These things are okay. I mean, you can't blame it on any government, but the most important thing is for us to be very proactive and, fight it when it arises.
Well, so that's it for the news tidbit this morning. We have a lot more news. We'll be looking at the newspapers right here, and then also we will be looking at the online portals, myjoyonline.com, City FM, and we'll go to the Africa page of the BBC. Through it all, you can get interactive on Facebook. We're streaming live there. JoyNews on TV is the name of the page, and we also have an interactive handle at JoyNews on TV.